Happy New Year. Oh, excuse me. Happy New Year. Um, a year ago today, I lost Noah. He went home. That was his wish. In the hospital, he told us he wanted to come home with me so that he could go home, meaning go to be with God. And so this past year has been like really, 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 really hard. And I've been dealing with the grieving process, and I've been um, trying to maneuver my way through my feelings, my thoughts, my goals, my objectives, anything to get through this past year. It's been very difficult. Not gonna lie, it's been very, very difficult. There have been some key things that have helped to keep me on track, and I'm forever grateful for those things. Hi, this is Marcia from What's Grief Amongst Friends. Today, we're going to talk about hope. As I mentioned before, it's been very, very difficult for me this past year. Um, you don't think about it when you're with someone and you're together and you're able to do things together and go places together and talk for every reason and no reason. Touch, kiss, walk together, do all sorts of types of things together, even just like driving down the street in the car. You take every single one of those things for granted. You know that you're in a relationship, and you try to do what's needed from you to help that relationship to be successful, and you unwittingly just take for granted that you will be with that person tomorrow and a year from now, 10 years from now. You just take it for granted. There's just like no thought in it. And I know that's true, and I'm going to tell you why. I have friends who have been married for long periods of time, and I have to remind them on a continuous basis. And I hate to be that person, but I have to constantly remind them that, hey, be grateful that you have that person. Be grateful that you love that person. Be grateful that that person is your person. They're still here with you. They still love you. You still love them. Be gentle with that person. You have to really be intentional with loving that person. And it doesn't have to be your husband or your significant other. It can be your parent. It could be your child. It could be a good friend. It could be, anything in your life that right now seems to be going wonderful. And unfortunately, some disaster can strike and take it from you in a blink of an eye. And during that process of losing and grieving, you sort of forget about hope. You sort of forget about, oh, what's tomorrow going to bring? What adventure is going to come our way? What are we going to be doing together to celebrate our love for each other, to, get from this point to the next point? Be it something as small as ordering appliances, or something as huge as, buying a house, or going to a new job, or, entertaining other people that weren't so very close to, but you're bringing them into your fold, into your group. there's like that hope that this is great. Everything is going to turn out fine. We're going to, go off into the sunset together. We're going to, continue to experience this love for one another, or this love for this thing that we are achieving, or this, you just have this thought that, yes, this is it. This is what it's all about. And when that all comes to a head, when that all just like stops, when there's just like, you go through some things, you have the steps of grief, and those are for real. Those are for real, whether you believe it or not. Those are for real, whether you seek counseling or not. Those are for real, whether you try to put it off for however long you can until it starts manifesting itself into your life and into your body, in not so good ways. So you're going through the grieving steps, and you're trying to get from point A to point B. Okay, no, you're trying to get from point A to point A, point one, because it's just like, it seems like the year takes forever to get through, but then all of a sudden it's just like flying by. And at some point, I can only speak for myself, but at some point I felt as if, and I'm going to share this with you mainly because it's the truth. And I know beyond a shadow of a doubt that there are other people that feel this way. At some point, you get to the point where, I got to the point where I just wanted Noah to come back and get me. Just come back and get me. I couldn't go through this anymore. I couldn't bear this anymore. I didn't want to. It was just too hard. And I just wanted him to come back and get me. And don't get it wrong. Don't get it twisted. Don't make any mistake. I prayed hard on it. I prayed for God to just take me away from this pain. Take me away from this horribleness of not only losing, but having to suffer that loss on an ongoing basis. And I just did not see any hope for tomorrow or the next day or the next month or the next year. And at some point, and I got to be honest with you about this too, it was pretty much in November-ish. So I was like into 11 months. It was pretty much November-ish where I finally started thinking or breathing or feeling like, okay, I know I'm coming up on this year anniversary. I know it's been almost a year that he's been gone. I know I've been suffering for almost a year, but man, I wonder if it'd be okay to not be so impaired, not be so desperate, not be so wishing that I was no longer in this reality, wishing that I was no longer hurting, wishing that, is it okay to hope for something? Is it okay to want something more than the pain, or to want to move my life forward without feeling guilty, to want to know what tomorrow is going to bring? Is it okay? Is it okay to feel like it's okay to smile? Is it okay to feel like it's okay to think about the future? It's okay to think about vacation. It's okay to think about moving forward. How how do you do that? How do I move forward without Noah? Noah was a part of my life for 26 years. How do I move forward without Noah? How do I uh, how do I find out who Marcia is? How do I um, what is it that I want to do in the future? And that's where I am right now. I'm in the process of figuring out how hope plays a role in my life. And make no mistake, there was a period of time when I had no hope, could care less, didn't want to, didn't. That I got up and out of bed in the morning was a blessing because I just did not want to. And now I woke up this morning, and God bless every single one of you who has reached out to me by phone, text, Facebook, however you reached out to me to let me know that I was on your hearts and on your minds, and that you were thinking of me and praying for me, and that you love me. Because everyone assumed it was going to be this type of a day. And I assumed it was going to be this type of a day. I went to bed last night. I haven't been sleeping good anyway for whatever reasoning. Um, so I went to bed last night, and I woke up intermittently throughout the night. And then finally, of course, around 5 o'clock, I was knocked out and didn't wake up on time to start doing the things that I needed to do. But I woke up this morning, excuse me, and I said, well, let me just put something on Facebook, just to remember him by, just to, and anybody who knows me must have seen the Facebook posting and said, oh, well, where is she? Well, I figure I've throughout the years put so many pictures of he and I on Facebook, and that everybody would see them. Or have seen them. So I said, well, I'll spend this time putting pictures of him and him with other people. And I mean, I look at those pictures and I fall all head over heels in love with him again, because he is just like he was this incredible human being who was very caring and very giving, and he loved me so hard. He loved me so hard. And I just love looking at his pictures. I'm looking at one right now. I just love looking at his pictures. And so I put them up on, I posted them on Facebook, and I received responses from them. Thank you for all of your love from, seeing his pictures posted and everything like that. So anyway, I woke up and I put the pictures on Facebook, and I stared at them for entirely too long. And I started becoming weepy. And I said, not today. No, 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 no. Get up and get your day started. And I got up and I got my day started. I got up, I ran a couple of errands that I needed to run. I went and got my hair done. Don't let this be any indicator of it, because I did. I got my hair done. I went and brought some flowers for his headstone. And because I just felt kind of like weird buying flowers for his headstone and not, and leaving Noah Jr., his bear, I put some down there too. So now the two of them have some really nice flowers on their tombstones, and they look rather nice. I'm very happy with them. But I couldn't buy flowers for Noah and Noah Jr. and not buy flowers for Maurice. So I bought some for him, and then I went out to his cemetery and I placed them on his grave. So all three of them are nicely covered for the new year coming, and I'm feeling pretty good about that. I went out there, chatted with Noah for a little while, said a few things to Noah Jr., said a few things to Maurice, and I kept it moving. And I am incredibly all right. Incredibly. I'm not saying, don't get me wrong, I am not saying that everyone is or should work on my timetable or that everyone's situation is going to be like my situation. Do not get me wrong. What I'm saying is, this is what I'm going through. This is how I'm feeling. And right now, I'm okay. I am okay. It's kind of funny because last year he died on January 4th, and I remember distinctly from that period of when he died, and I thought that his death was so incredibly beautiful that I felt like that I was supposed to be okay with moving forward, because I mean, how does God give you something so beautiful in a death? I mean, really, you know? And how can you not be okay with life? I mean, the past couple of years, us, being together and dealing with the illness together, and how well we handled everything. And then the year 2023, when he really got sick and he really, move quickly, swiftly towards the end. And then this past year of me having to go through, okay. So I remember, him passing, and I said, okay, everybody that asked, how are you? And I'm like, I'm okay. I'm okay. I'm all right. I'm okay. And I felt like I felt like I was okay because, we were blessed. We were blessed. We were just incredibly, incredibly blessed. And to have found each other, to have, even though I had to like pester Alan for like 2 years before Noah gave me a second thought. But anyway, we were able to find each other. And hold on one second. Hi. I'm well. How are you? I'm currently doing my podcast. Well, I'm doing a live posting. Can I call you back? Oh, okay, thanks. Okay, bye. So, I would tell everybody that I'm good. I am good. I am fine. Don't worry about me. I'm good. And it's amazing because like after the services and after the repast, and for like maybe about a day and a half after that, I was good. But what that good was getting me through the death and burial process. And it's sort of like when that extra energy, that super power kind of like jumps in on you and says, nope, you got to do this. You got to take care of it. And so I was good. But like a day and a half after the repast, until about November, I was not good. I was not good. There's nothing I could do about it. There's no way. I prayed on it. I meditated. And listen, I don't know how to meditate, but I did whatever I possibly could because I had to come out of that funk somehow. I had to come out of that depressed state. I had to get a hold until finally I just had to say, you know what? It is what it is. And being a part of spouses and partners of color, the grief support group was phenomenal. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful people that helped me get through that point in my life where I just felt like I wanted to die. I wanted to die. And I know there are going to be people who see this who say, oh my God, I didn't know it was that bad. Did you pick up a phone and call me? Did you? Did you stop by and visit me? So if you didn't know it was that bad, that means that you had no contact with me whatsoever. And if you did that to me and you're saying you had no idea that's where I was at, that means that there's probably other people in your life that you need to check in on. That's all I'm saying. You just need to check in on them. Don't sit here and say, I didn't know she was going through all of that and you didn't even reach out. Okay. Off my soapbox for that. So anyway, got through 2024 miraculously and started saying, okay, where do I go from here? What do I do now? What is coming up? And that's when I have to A couple of weeks ago, I did a live where we talked about allowing yourself grace, and now I'm to the point where I have to allow myself to hope. I have to allow myself hope. I have to know that that was part of my story. Noah's life, Noah and my life, our relationship, our marriage, our ups, our downs, our insides and outsides, our travel, our staycations, our whatever we went through together and apart, that was a part of my life. I'm still here. So I still have life. I still have life to live. And what I now need to do is allow myself to hope that this next chapter, my future, my journey is all right, is fruitful, is loving, is considerate, is compassionate, is, that it is what I need it to be moving forward. And it's okay for me to hope that. It in no way means that I am going to forget about Noah. Listen, I still got the rings on. I'm not there yet. I still got the rings on. I still have pictures all over the place. I still have he's still my screensaver. I mean, I will never forget Noah Borders. I will never forget Noah Borders. He was my love, and I called him that, and that's what he was. He was my love, and I will always, always, always love him. But that doesn't mean that I'm supposed to stop living because he's not physically right here at my side, or physically right here in front of me, or physically able to talk to me and talk me off the edge and talk me, into the next segment or whatever. I feel him, and I occasionally hear him, and I talk to him because I've talked to him for 26 years, so I talk to him. And but that doesn't mean that I'm supposed to stop living. It doesn't mean that I'm not supposed to go on. I'm not supposed to go forward. It doesn't mean that I'm not supposed to hope for better for my future. I have some things, thankfully, thankfully, I have some things that have kept me propelled to move forward. It's just like you don't even, okay, so you have a job, you get up and you go to, and whether you love it to death or whether you don't or whatever, you get up and you go to it, and you're earning your living. I have a job where I don't even consider it my job. It's just like such a joy to do daycare with young children that, oh my God. And it's not even just the young children, it's the families that reach out to me on an ongoing basis so I say I lost, but I didn't really lose, because they're clearly still ingrained in my life. Several of the children went on to graduated and went on to other schools, and I'm so incredibly proud of them, but their parents keep them involved with me. Their parents are trying to keep up with me. I've had a couple of text messages today. How you doing? I think that's awesome. their children aren't even in my daycare anymore, but they're reaching out to me because they know what today is, and how are you doing? Those families give me hope. And it's really funny because when Noah was here and, the daycare was getting up and running and he didn't want me to do the daycare and this, that, and the other, Noah would sit in the driveway or out in front of the house waiting for the babies to come so that he could say good morning to them. And that would make their morning, that would make their whole day. Mr. Noah spoke to us. Mr. Noah was waiting for me. Mr. Noah. And because of the daycare, I was able to pull through last year because I had to get up. What I was going through was not just interrupting my life. It was interrupting their lives also. And I had too many families to just shut down and not do the daycare anymore. So that right there brought me through. And so I have this hope of being around for several more years because I had the most incredible group of babies and children. And I can't wait to see them walking across not only the high school stage when they graduate and get their high school diploma, but across their college stage where they graduate and get their associate's degrees or their certifications or their master's degree or even their PhDs, okay? I have one that I call an astronaut because this little kid is so incredibly intelligent that to do anything less is just like, oh my God, whatever he does, I'm going to be proud of him. But I have a young lady who, if she doesn't become a doctor, I don't know, because this little girl is so incredibly intelligent. And I have a police officer, one that wants to be a police officer, and I have one that wants to be a scientist, and I have a mathematician. I have a little boy, those who know me know who this is because I talk about it all the time. I have a little boy who at 2 years old, we didn't change the calendar to say the next month, not the next day, the next month. And he said, it's not September. 2 years old. I kid you not, 2 years old. So I have a group of very, 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 very intelligent, loving, caring, empathetic, because there are days when I would be sitting there watching them and I would just be bawling and they would just come up and hug me and kiss me and, pet on me and then go on and play like nothing happened. I love these babies. They are just wonderful. And so they are a hope for my future. I hope for their to be spectacular, to be marvelous, to be wonderful, to be amazing. And I hope to be able to be around to see that. I have a group of friends and relatives that constantly keep up with me, constantly text me, call me, WhatsApp me. Some of them just want to see me just to make sure I am okay. And I'm not just saying I'm okay. I love them to death. And they give me hope for the future. I mention her often, and I apologize, but I have to mention Regina because Regina she's had several events and throughout this past year. And she has given me assignment through each one of them to make sure that I would come to the event so that I'm not sitting in the house by myself. And I mean, I gotta shout her out because she just makes sure. Not everybody does that. Not everybody sees your pain and tries to pull you out of that pain. She does. And I appreciate that. I'm not going to name everybody because everybody has their role and everybody knows their role. And I appreciate each and every one of you for what you have done. I've gotten cards, I've gotten phone calls, I've gotten text messages. I ran into a friend, and she says that we ran into each other. She says CVS. I thought it was Big Y, but it doesn't matter. She says we ran into each other, and I said to her, when does the pain stop? I said, Debbie, when does this pain stop? And I know that she had recently lost her husband, so I figured she would be able to tell me, oh, it's only going to last such and such an amount of time. And she just said, I don't know. But it gets a little bit easier. And so she's the one who started up the grief group that I go to. And anybody that's interested in it, please let me know, because it is phenomenal. So I ran into Debbie, and she started this grief group, and I go, and because of this grief group, I have hope. I see the different stages that I'm going through. I see the different thought processes. I see hope for tomorrow because of going to this group. And it's just awesome. It's awesome. And I love it. So I love it so much so, and I love the people that are involved in it so much so. And I love that we try to keep up with each other, and that we, call each other and text each other and just try to make sure each other's okay. And so there's one of my friends that's in the grief group. She calls me today, and I said, hi, how are you? She says, I'm calling to see how you are. And I said, oh, I'm good. I said, how are you? She says, well, I'm good because I have this friend named Marcia who always calls me to make sure I'm okay. And I was driving, and I said, don't do it. I'm driving. I don't want to start crying. And she says, no, I'm not going to make you cry. I'm just letting you know I am reaching out to you because you always reach out to me. And that just blew my mind. It just blew my mind. And I love it. And I love her for doing it. And so, yeah, I have hope. I have hope because even though I don't have Noah here in the physical form, and I don't have a way to hope for he and I to move forward for the future, I have hope of moving forward for my future because I have, in essence, rebuilt my community. And in doing so, I have found hope through all the different facets of my new community. So that's what I was going to speak to you about today, and to see if anybody else wanted to chime in, because like I said, I know that there are a lot of people who are going through similar, if not identical, things that I have gone through this year. And by no means am I saying that I am over the grieving process, because I do not think that in any way, shape, or form. I know that I have to grieve the way that I have to grieve for however long I have to grieve. But I also now need to start finding out who Marcia is without Noah. I love you too, Christina. I love you too. I was wondering if anyone else would like to chime in, maybe give some suggestions to me or to others who are going through this grieving process, and maybe giving some ideas of hope that others can take with them and utilize to help them see that there is a future, even though they're suffering a significant loss. And if not, that's okay too. People can just reach out when they can just send text message, either the Facebook or the Instagram or whatever, however they're streaming this. But I just wanted to touch base and let you know, a year ago today is very, very different than what today is. but I do have hope, and I love each and every one of you for sharing your love with me and for giving me hope for my future. Thank you so much. I love you guys, and I will check back with you later. Happy New Year. Bye-bye.